What's up, everybody? This is Trysta. Please subscribe to This League. Tap the bell, comment below, and give us a like. On this episode of This League, man, it finally happens. The conversation between Draymond Green and Kevin Durant about that infamous kerfuffle back in 2018 against the Clippers that possibly, most likely, was the final nail in the coffin to get Kevin Durant to say deuces. I cannot wait to break this down. This interview was fire. So let's go and drop the beat, Marty. I think it's weird when people decide that they're going to settle some, I don't want to say beef, but like unresolved issues. And they're going to do it for the very first time on camera.
Yeah, no, it's super wild. I can't imagine doing that.
Like when Magic... It was
Isaiah Thomas.
And Isaiah Thomas. And it was like emotional and they were crying. And I'm like, is this the place to do that? Like, is this bringing out the most vulnerability in you? Is this bringing out the most honesty? Maybe, because it's being filmed. I don't know. Like, it's like sort of people make decisions to go and try to find love on camera as well. And it's like, I don't know. Kind of strange. But listen, I enjoyed it.
Yes.
So Kevin Durant and Draymond decided to settle that old beef, I guess you could call it, on Draymond Green's new show called Chips, which, as an aside, Marty, it's not Chips as in championships. It's Draymond Green's show about people with chips on their shoulder. So it's literally all about guys in the league with chips on their shoulder, which you could kind of tell after KD talked about this, like every single player, 450 of them in the league, all have chips on their shoulders for different reasons, valid and not valid. So I thought that was like really funny. So I expected them to be honest, but I did not expect them both to blow up the Warriors front office. Like just completely bury them, which is exactly what happened. So 2018, here's the background. 2018, KD's in a contract year. Just for folks who are like not remembering this, because it was like 3 years ago. And, you know, if you're not in the weeds, then you're not in the weeds. So the media is swarming around Kevin Durant, like preseason, training camp, all that. Like, KD, this is your contract year. What are you up to? What are you going to do? Like, how are you feeling? What are you doing?
Why are you talking to Kyrie so much?
Why are you trying to tell? What are you talking to? We found a photo of you talking to Kyrie with your hand over your face. What was that about? Like, you and him were at All-Star game, blah, 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 blah. And like everybody at this point, and they're asking Draymond, and they're asking Iguodala, and they're asking Steph Curry. And they're not just asking them, they're asking them every single day. It's every day. And Kevin Durant, that's the one where Kevin Durant was like, stop fucking asking me, you know? So Draymond at this point feels the non-commitment because he's being non-committal. Tensions are brewing. Things are bubbling. And then the Warriors play the Clippers. Get this, not in March, not in April. This is November 18th, folks. This is the beginning of the season, and it all comes to a head right then. So this is what he said. This is what happened. I got the rebound. I took it up the court. Kay's clapping for the ball and I'm taking off. I'm driving up the court. In my mind, Kay is about to come in for the trail, and I'm about to pitch it back. He's about to walk into the three. We're going home, and we got a game tomorrow. This is how I envision the whole play happening. As I turn to go across the court for the pitch back, KD has completely stopped coming. So then I dribble the ball off my foot looking for him, and it went all wrong. They lose the ball. Game over. Kevin Durant is like, yo, that's not what I saw. This is how I played it out. We got the stop. I'm grabbing the rebound. As soon as I cross half court, I'm shooting it, Durant said. That was the disconnect. That was it. I wanted that ball in the moment. Draymond saw it a different way, and that was the clash. Okay, so that's what's happening in their minds. But what actually plays out in reality is Durant being like, yo, give me the motherfucking ball. Give me the ball. What are you doing? And then Draymond Green goes, I was fucking passing you the ball if you would have fucking ran. And then he's like, yo, you better. And he said something else to Draymond. And Draymond responds on the bench, because this is happening on the court and then on the bench. And he says something crazy to Draymond. And Draymond goes, yo, you better calm the fuck down. I don't know who the fuck you're talking to. And then he says something like that we all heard, like, just leave. We know you want to leave. Just leave. And that's when everyone was like, oh, did you see that? It's like that little meme where it's that little puppet and his eyes are looking around. That was all of us. And then Durant said, yo, I was so irritated because I knew the vultures were about to eat that up. I mean, yes, we were. Yes, we were. I knew they were going to try to use that to divide it and separate me from the group. Pause. That's not true. What we're trying to do is get some insight into what the fuck is going on here. Not to divide you, but he goes, that was the irritating part because I knew that was what was going to happen. And Draymond says the buildup of everything, the media coverage around it, the suspension, blah, 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 it only made it worse and it took on a life of its own. So we know all that. That's the background. So Draymond says to KD, finally, this is the first time I guess they've talked about this. Hey, for my own mental health, this is what he says, for my own sanity, was that fight the reason that you left the Warriors? And this is what he said. Click it.
So just for my own personal sanity, how much did our argument against the Clippers drive you to ultimately lead the Warriors?
It wasn't the argument. It was the way that everybody, Steve Kerr, act like it didn't happen. Bob Myers and tried to just discipline you and think that would put the mask over everything. I really felt like that was such a big situation for us as a group. The first time we went through something like that, we had to get that shit all out. I remember watching The Last Dance, and when Scotty didn't go into the game, the whole team in the locker room said, Scotty, that was fucked up that you did that. We needed that. We just needed to throw all of that shit out on the table and say, yo, Dre, K, like, that was fucked up that we even had to go through that. Let's just wipe our hands with that and go finish the task. I don't think we did that. We tried to dance around it. I just didn't like how all of that, just the vibe between all of that, it just made shit weird to me. And I'd rather us be who we say we are. Family first. Communication is key. Like, we didn't show that. And that's what rubbed me the wrong way more than anything.
When we landed back from LA, I sat Hazel was sitting in the car for an hour and 45 minutes. They pulled me in that room at Signature for an hour and 45 minutes, and they tried to tell me, you need to apologize.
And his response was to that, no, I am not going to apologize. I'm going to handle this with KD the way that I want to handle it. And they're barking back and forth with Draymond. He wakes up the next day, which wasn't in this clip, but was in the longer piece, so listen to that. And they go, Draymond, are you ready to apologize yet? And he goes, no, I'm going to handle it with K how I want to. And he says right to Bob Myers, you're going to fuck this up. You guys are fucking this up right now. The only people who can make this right are me and Kevin, not anyone else. So what do? They suspend Draymond. He laughs right in Bob Myers' face. Bob Myers is like, what? He's like, I'm either going to cuss you out or I'm going to laugh at you because you are fucking this up right now. And the truth is, now we know it actually did fuck it up.
Yep.
Kevin Durant was like, yo, these people are weird. Like, what is this? Everybody's pretending. And then the media, of course, is like, oh, Warriors are taking Kevin Durant's side. Why are they doing this to Draymond? And why don't they just let these guys handle it themselves? I don't know. Yeah. They're in agreement. Steve Kerr tried to act like nothing happened, which does not shock me. They're in agreement that Bob Myers tried desperately to get Draymond to apologize. Draymond says, fuck that. KD watched the whole thing unfold and he's like, this is fucking weird. Starts packing his bags probably right then. Like, I'm out. This is fucked up. Because you're supposed to be what? Strength in numbers. And it's like first sign of anything cracking. It's like everybody flees to their sides. No numbers, no strength. So the subtext to me is like pretty obvious. Rest of the interview, Kevin Durant and Draymond said that they would have probably won 5 more rings if he would have stayed. That's 10 consecutive finals appearances. 8 chips in total. Dre also said, which KD agreed with, this was the best era in basketball. So in their minds, Bob Myers fucked up the best era in basketball and destroyed a dynasty that would have gotten 8 rings. That is absolutely insane. Kevin Durant had to bounce. Warriors have been now in the lottery the 2 years after with weak prospects for the future. And it's all because Bob Myers was so afraid to make Kevin Durant feel uncomfortable So they coddled him and protected him because they wanted him to stay. And that created the problem that ended up getting him to leave. Have you seen...
That's so funny.
Have you seen Kung Fu Panda?
I've actually not.
Such a great movie. You got to see it. So the premise of the start of the movie is this. There's this dangerous tiger named Tai Lung. And he gets thrown into this maximum security prison for wreaking havoc on the community. And this sage comes to the palace to bring this master who trained the vicious tiger to let him know that they have some grave news. He has like a vision that Tai Lung escapes from prison and burns the whole city down. That's the vision. It's like this prophecy. So Shifu is like, yo, this is fucked up. I don't think this is real. This can't be real. Like, he's in a maximum security prison. I don't see this. But he's like, just in case, I'm going to send my little duck friend cartoon to the prison to check up on this vicious tiger. And in the process of the duck checking up, we're going somewhere.
Okay.
In the process of the duck checking up on this fucking Tai Lung character who is a vicious tiger sitting in chains in maximum security. He's like locked up in like, it's like prison on prison on prison on prison on prison. Like no way he can get out. Iron cocoon, they call it. And the duck feather from the duck falls. Somehow he moves or does something. And then the feather just comes off of him and just dwindles down right outside of Tai Lung's cell. Grabs the feather, gets himself out of prison. Tai Lung is now escaped. Prophecy fulfilled. That is, to me, Bob Myers and Steve Kerr are Master Shifu and the duck. Truthfully, I'm not really sure who's who. And KD leaving is Tai Lung the tiger. Like, in trying to stop KD from leaving, you caused him to leave.
Yeah. That kind of adds up.
It's crazy. You tried to keep him happy using inauthentic bullshit. Kevin Durant has a bullshit detector like you've never seen. This is crazy. I'm out of here. These guys are weak. How are you going to you're not going to protect Draymond? Like, Draymond was in the wrong, but I was in the wrong. You know?
Yeah.
And that is, to me, why Bob Myers does not get the benefit of the doubt. Because two guys, two All-Stars, two Hall of Famers said he fucked it up. He made Kevin Durant basically leave. I mean, I'm sure there's other factors, but that's the main factor. And so to me, how could I ever trust that Bob Myers is a great decision maker when your main all-star, who's like the heartbeat of the team, is like, yo, let me handle this. You're fucking it up. And he's like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what you have to say. You're suspended. So when he tells me Kuminga and Moody are the future and Wiseman's is going to be the next DeAndre Ayton and they're in a good place and they're going to contend now with Andrew Wiggins, do you know what I have to say to that? I mean, that's bullshit. That's a lie. That's just a lie. That's a lie. And that's at worst. At best, he just has no clue what's going on.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've never been a Bob Myers fan. I thought that light years ahead comment was always just the lamest shit. Like, yeah, I don't want to say lucked into a lot of it, but you just...
You did luck into it.
You found a way to have a lot of great players on your team. And then you were able to attract, probably the best player in the entire world because of those great players on your team. No.
Joe Lacob wasn't around. Bob Myers wasn't around when Steph Curry got drafted.
No.
I think Jerry West was responsible for the Klay Thompson draft pick as well as the Draymond Green draft pick. Okay, so they lucked into three guys who turned into all-stars. Then Jerry West is instrumental in recruiting Kevin Durant. What have you guys done? What? You just I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, and at the same time, you got Kevin Durant, and then when it was just you, after Jerry West left in 2017. This thing happened in 2018. Bob Myers is left to his own devices. And what does he do? He fucks it up.
Yeah, it's clearly gone to shit. Yeah.
And it's not getting better. So, I don't know. Maybe this is why Bob Myers is running to Draymond Green every fucking draft pick that he has, on FaceTime while Draymond Green's in Tokyo. Because I think probably Draymond Green should be GM of the Warriors.
That'd be something.
That would be something. A player GM. I mean, I trust him more than I trust Bob Myers. You got to watch that interview, though. It's sick. It's very illuminating. So to me, yeah, I think that's kind of the end all be all. We now know what happened. We all know that. Can you imagine Kevin Durant on the Warriors still, though?
What in what like terms? Like what
Like,
it would look like,
what
or just
the
like
league would be like?
Yeah, I mean, just
everything would be different.
Mm-hmm.
Not only would that team obviously be different, but like everybody's win now moves. Like I think that the death of the Warriors dynasty created this sense of urgency of win now.
Yeah, so much. I mean, the ripple effect of like the true blue bloods of the NBA is unlike any other sport.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, if it's Kevin Durant and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and whoever else, it's like, well, and Andre Iguodala, because that trade would have never happened. Then like everybody's just waiting for that dynasty to end.
Yeah.
They're just like literally actually drafting for the future, making smart moves and not just trying to figure out a way to get the best pieces right this second because they know there's no way that they're beating that team. Which is why everybody in the East should be scared of KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. That's all the time that we have for the This League podcast. Please like, please rate, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It makes a huge difference. Do not forget to follow us at This League and at Trysta Krick on TikTok, IG, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Please go on YouTube. That's the only place that you can see Marty's face. Picture in picture. Haircut is looking good. Puts a lot of effort in. So definitely subscribe on YouTube. I think we're at 2,000 followers or 2,000 subscribers there, which is not bad considering that no one knows about this YouTube page. Thank you for listening. Tune in Monday afternoon for the next episode of This League.